Hello again, it's me, that guy with the YouTube channel, and I don't know if you can tell, but we have a very different setup today, and it's a little red at the bottom here because I'm on the carpet today, on the floor with just backdrop there, because this is another one of those reviews where the figure is so goddamn big I need to change where I need to change a setting, and well, the thing I have the camera on just doesn't get close enough to the floor to be at level with the figure, so I have to put this board game box there. Anyways, as you could tell by the title, GMK motherfucking Ghidorah, bitch! I got this off of anonymous Japanese buying site for about $50, although shipping brought it up considerably, but that's not the point. The point is, the point of right now, the point is to talk about this figure. So starting with the tag, as you can see, it's pretty simple. You got King Ghidorah standing in front of some clouds, movie monster series in a Japanese rusted text. King Ghidorah, 2002, 2001, 2002, 2001, 2002. Okay, moving swiftly on. We got the moon script, which no one ever understands. It's kind of hard to show the tag just because of how huge this figure is, and see, it's really awkward. This is going to be kind of an awkward review. He's 50 meters, 2.5 something, and covering all that up there. As you can see, there's a sticker from unanimous Japanese buying site where I got him from, which I wish they wouldn't have slapped right there across the GMK picture. Which, I mean, just see any of my other reviews of the GMK figures to see what that picture of GMK Godzilla looks like. It's pretty cool. On the back, we got the power pellet thing. I'm covering this up because I don't want a whole lot of people to know about this. This is a licensing sticker. Are you taking notes, Paragon tag? So for detail, because I'm holding my neck up, because I'm lying down on the floor, we're going to go a little fast here, but starting with his clubs here, as you can see, they're very nice. A little bent on mine, but whatever. As you can see, you got the spikes going all the way up, and they're, yeah, not connecting to anything because I have the tail rotated, but as you can see, his scales are beautifully sculpted on this figure. They're as good as a Monster Art sculpt, if not better. This is actually, I would imagine if there was a Monster Arts GMK Ghidorah, it would not be a whole lot different from what this is. That's how good this thing is. As you can see, trying to focus here, this is really awkward to do. I don't know if you can tell, just because the size and mass this thing has to it. It's got the spikes going, can't see those, fuck. You got the spikes going down his back. Now I sound kind of weird because I'm just holding up my head with my neck. Speaking of neck, the spikes look a little bad on the back of him, but whatever. He has 3 different heads at the end of each neck, although all 3 neck sculpts are the same. Semi-open mouth, and closed mouth. And I'm not sure if my camera can pick this up or not, but let's see here. Let's see if we can focus in on his eye. I am not too sure if you can tell, but it's right in the center of his eye. There's a little dot sculpted in there, and it's on both eyes on each head. They all have a little dot sculpted in the center of his pupil. So that just goes to show, and you can see my laundry basket there, fuck. That just goes to show the level of detail this thing has, that they went that far. And as you can see, his horns, they're silver, teeth are silver, the eyes, the black I think is a little too big, you can barely see the red. But whatever. It's still awesome. We have his Ghidorah tits. You know, other Ghidorahs, the neck kind of comes out of his Ghidorah tits. The necks come out of his shoulders. So these literally are fucking tits. His fucking Ghidorah tits. And he's got a little bit of spray right there. There's some spray right there. His wings are kind of painted to look like a different shade of gold, but it's just black spraying. Nothing special. And his feet are very nice. We got the silver toenails, back one. The back claw is painted, which is a rarity, and he even has different scale patterns, as you can see. But he is not like Baragon. He does not have fully detailed undersides of his feet, so he is not as good as Baragon. But he's still fucking awesome, so yeah, you see his probably a good 2 or 3 different scale patterns on his feet alone. As you can see, it's a little warped, but we'll get to that at the end of the review. So now that I'm free of having a really awkward filming session with this figure, showing it off to the camera, let's get on to articulation. So now on to articulation. First of all, well, first you get the standard points. The legs move, which, whoopity-dee, whoopity-fucking-dee. As you can see, the feet on mine are warped and they're bending forward. I'll get to that at the end of the review along with the wings. But, yeah, different story for later in the review. But the legs, they can move, I haven't seen, yeah, they can't go 360 because the wing curls in, and his heel spike thingy hits up against there. The wings are actually attached in such a way where you can flap them, so, yeah, it's probably one of the most flappy-winged figures I've had. This is an intentional thing, I believe. Bandai does this because, you know, these are kids' toys, but obviously they appreciate and value. Tail rotates, which is a pretty neat thing. It's not a glue seal or anything, and it's very smooth, but let's face it, no joint on any figure will ever be as smooth as Baragon's tail. Yeah. And finally, we have 6 points up in the neck here. So the necks, they all rotate at the base. The middle one goes 360. These ones, they go to about there before these hit up against the middle neck. And finally we get to the most controversial point about the figure, the heads. Some say they rotate just out, plain straight out, or meant to rotate. Others say that they are glue sealed. Riots are still going on to this day. People have been killed, cold blood, murdered countless times over starting debates on whether or not these necks are, the heads are glue sealed or not. I have come to a certain conclusion about the necks. They are not glue sealed and they are meant to rotate. Now, when I got this guy from
Japanese brain force,
he had all the articulation ready to move. The necks were moving here. These two were moving just fine at the heads, but this head, I mean, the neck moved fine. I don't know why I keep referring to these as necks, but the head, it was stuck. It felt glue sealed. And then just a little bit of force, and yeah, and these didn't feel like they were glue sealed at any point. So, if I pull the head off just a little bit here, I know this is kind of taboo, and if I zoom in, wow, BioGoji's actually doing a zoom in. Wow, he just said the name of his channel for the first time. Yeah, as you can see, this nub that connects on the head is painted. And if I commit social collector taboo, you can get your crucifixes ready to kill me for this. Pop the head off. You can see inside the vinyl, which if I focus on it, you can't really tell, but inside the vinyl, the part that is actually touching this nub is not painted. So that means that over the years, which if I can get this on, I do not recommend doing that. Kids, if you're ever going to get this figure, do not ever take these heads off or I will come and find you and kill you. Anyways, getting back onto what I said, trying to zoom out. There we go. So what happens is not a glue seal, but the paint on the nub is getting inside of the head and is transferring onto the head, possibly from rotating it around, and then it's sticking to it, stopping it from being able to move. So when you say it's glue sealed, you're not too far off, but it is meant to rotate fresh out of whatever you got it from, and it's just that paint transfer is sealing the joint. So now that my scientific nature journey is over, let's get on to sizing. So now that you can see just how low to the ground this figure would be if I had him not on top of this board game box, we're going to get on to sizing now, starting with, of course, the GMK Godzilla from Bandai. And, shit, I just bumped the camera. As you can see, it's a pretty good sizing. I believe Ghidorah is the only accurately sized Guardian monster. Maybe Godzilla should be a little bit bigger. But this is pretty accurate. It's like 50 meters, 50-something meters. Actually, maybe Godzilla should be a lot bigger, but either way, it's pretty good. your GMK Ghidorah might not look this small compared to Godzilla, because mine has, again, the warped feet, so he kind of leans forward, and I've been working on trying to fix that, and believe me, when I first got him, he was like that compared to Godzilla, so I have gotten to stand a little taller, but yeah, he should be standing a little taller. Next, of course, well, actually, you know what, we're going to leave GMK in here, because next, of course, GMK Baragon, probably can barely see him. These two are never on screen together, but this is, it's about accurate. Baragon and Mothra in this line are a little oversized. And, of course, GMK Mothra. There we go, I got the full GMK set. What do you have, bitch? So next, in a somewhat GMK-related sizing, here he is with... Oh, what's this? And finally, for those of you fans of Godzilla CR and good old Gojira Gigantus, here is what he looks like next to the Toho Kaiju series Godzilla 2000. Well, it's the Toho Kaiju mold, but, you know, this still technically wasn't Toho Kaiju series, but yeah. Might not be the exact one you have. Let's get this back onto the ground here. I would say these two are about the same height, which I'd actually say this is an accurate sizing, because Godzilla 2000 is 55 meters up to the very top of his spine right here, and GMK Ghidorah is about 50 meters, so I would actually say this is an accurate sizing, so yippity fucking D. So for history of the figure and pricing, this figure was originally released in 2001, despite what the tag might tell you, alongside the rest of the GMK figures, and was about the standard price of an 8-inch figure at the time. I really don't know, $20, that's my best guess. And had another release at the same time, which was the theater exclusive version, which was translucent yellow with gold glitter in the vinyl. Now, if you can find this for the price it was when it came out, you must be buying it from someone who really does not give a shit about anything, because nowadays this figure and the theater exclusive version command an extremely high price tag. Like $90 to $100, expect to pay that. I know a lot of people say they got theirs for $20. I have never in my life seen one of these at that price, although granted I don't check eBay as often as I used to. But yeah, anyways, just be prepared. A few words of caution. Warpage issues. They're big with this guy. The tails, mine are actually kind of warped, but I've seen them warped like that for sale. The wings, a lot of people say they're the biggest culprit, but they warp a lot. They'll warp down. Mine are not too bad, but pretty bad. The horns, I am lucky not to get bent horns, but I've seen bent horns, which the horns are actually glue sealed in, by the way, just a little interesting fact. And the biggest issue of all, the feet. As you can see, these are bent forward and they're just awful. He should really, maybe even be almost a ½ inch taller, but because of his warped feet, he stands a little short, because he's all soft, squishy vinyl, and that's all the GMK figures have warpage issues. Mothra, her wings and her legs. Godzilla, his legs bow inward. Baragon, his legs bow outward, and you even get bent horns on him sometimes. And King Ghidorah is the king of warpage issues, that's for sure. And also, have a metric ass ton worth of shelf space put aside for this figure. His wingspan, I would say, when not bent, is about 1 foot long, and he is definitely, from nose to tail, at least 1 foot long, maybe even longer. So you need to have a 1 foot by 1 foot shelf just cleared away for this figure. Pretty much this figure only, unless you want to take shit off of him and possibly damage him trying to display him. In fact, here. You see up there how my GMK figures are gone? See how they're now over there? That's because I still need to put in a wall mounting shelf right there to put all my GMK figures. I have had to get a new shelf just for my GMK figures. That's how big all of them are, and it's fucking awesome. So, yeah, I was lucky enough to get them for $50 shipped off the place that I won't name. Shipping brought it up quite a bit coming from Japan to where I live, but it was well worth it. If you can get him, or if you're comfortable paying the $90 to $100 price he commands, go for it. Even if it's the theater exclusive, I can't imagine the warpage issues being any different, if not better, on that figure. It's probably even worse. For a rating, he gets an easy 10 out of 10. So that's it for this review. As I always say, shamama jamo, it means I accidentally ate the whole thing.